What's up, guys? This is Archer here with the CLG Faithful Podcast, episode 45, coming to you live on December the 4th, 2017, currently 6 p.m. PST. Now, my usual co-host, Nefarious, is unavailable to record a podcast tonight. His work has gotten pretty crazy, so he's going to need to take the week off. So it is just me tonight. Now, you might have noticed this pretty cool car scrolling around on the screen right now. That is the CLG R35 GT3 made in Project Cars 2 by none other than the amazing community member Dat Miffy. You can call him out on the CLG Discord if you would like. He posted this in the fan creations, and I gave him a little chat, and he said it was okay to call him out for this and show the pictures on the YouTube version of this podcast. So if you want to take a look at these, it's pretty cool. He has decked out this car to look straight up CLG and all sponsors. It's amazing. Really well done, Dat Miffy, bud. You are a CLG fan at heart. All right, so we're going to move on to some actual CLG news here. And one of the biggest things that happened this week was on Thursday, CLG officially announced that they were stepping back from CSGO. Now, they are dropping the CLG CSGO.Blue boys as well as the Academy team. There's been no news on if they are doing anything with the CLG.Red team. So that's the girls playing. No news on that, only the Blue boys and the Academy team. Unfortunately, they are kind of stepping away from CSGO. So they still own the contracts for Ricky, Ethan, Kusta, FNS, and Cutler. However, they are dropping out of kind of sponsoring it, and they hold the contracts. And they're looking to sell them. Apparently they're looking for upwards of $500,000 for some of them. I imagine that $500,000 is probably going to be going for Ricky and Kusta. Those guys are killer and playing super well as of late. It is kind of sad to see, our CSGO team kind of disintegrating into nothingness. These guys were great. I mean, you can't really fault these guys individually. They're all really good CLG. They're all really good CSGO players. It just might be that, the CSGO, them as a team, were not really the best, I guess, obviously. So CLG has said that after several months of analysis and internal discussion, they could not come to an economic or business strategy for the team and reached a difficult decision to stop doing CSGO for the guys. It was tough to hear that. I mean, there's a little bit of rebound coming up, and CLG has definitely missed a few of the bigger events and lost to some teams that they really shouldn't have in the last few months. But, overall in the last 2 years, it's been a bit of a wild ride, a typical CLG wild ride, something that, is expected. It really is. So just want to, say a thank you to all of our current players. We got Ricky, Ethan, Kusta, FNS, Cutler. We got WiiU as coach, Ruin, Exotic, Infinite, Aphromoo, Char, and DJ on the Academy team. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys gave us some great entertainment, and we appreciate your time spent with CLG. And best of luck finding a new team. Hopefully you guys find something great, and just keep on keeping on. So we'll get into a little bit of League of Legends news from this point onwards. Aphromoo, our ex-captain, the Aphromoo will always be CLG. He'll always be CLG fam. Always. There's no way that it doesn't matter unless he comes out and blatantly calls us shit or something like that. Aphromoo will never be welcome as in a CLG family circle. He's a pretty awesome guy. He has finally officially joined 100 Thieves. There was all the rumors kind of flying around, about him joining 100 Thieves, but nothing was actually confirmed. However, today, and a few hours ago, actually, Aphromoo was officially announced on the starting roster of 100 Thieves. Pretty cool. Best of luck, Aphromoo, man. I hope you made bank, buddy, because you deserve it. You absolutely deserve to make some bank. And you know what, man? Good luck. Good luck. I know you're streaming right now. Keep it up, man. You are awesome. All right. So we'll move on to the rest of the League of Legends news, which is the NA Scouting Grounds happened this weekend. That happened on November 30th and December 1st. And this was pretty cool. So CLG sponsored Team Mountain Drake, which included a Blaze Olive, Value, a Winter, Rodov, and a Nintendo X. Cloud9 sponsored Team Cloud Drake, TSM sponsored Team Infernal Drake, and Optic sponsored Team Ocean Drake. Now, to start off with the results of this. So Team Mountain Drake on the first day ended up playing against Team Cloud Drake, sponsored by Cloud9, of course. Why would they not sponsor Team Cloud Drake? And CLG beat Team Cloud Drake 2-0. However, moving on to the second day, it was a bit of a different story. Mountain Team ended up losing 0-2 to the Ocean Team, which was owned by Optic, or sponsored by Optic. And then at the end of the day, they also happened to go 1-2 as the best of 3 against Team Infernal Drake, which is sponsored by TSM. That brought us into the playoffs for the third place match, where Mountain Drake ended up beating out Cloud Drake 2-0 to take third spot in the results. Not too bad, they ended up going 3-4 in terms of games. Not awful, 1-2 in terms of the series. They made third place. However, CLG ended up having last pick in the draft. So after all that happened, there was a draft. Cloud9 had 3 draft picks. 3 draft picks. Yeah, that's right. They ended up buying FlyQuest and Optic Gaming's draft pick spots. And they had first, third, and 9th pick. And CLG had 10th pick. And CLG actually picked up Nintendo X, an old school player as well. I believe he and Huhi have actually played on a team previously. So that's actually kind of cool, that they've basically picked him up. I think they played on Fusion. Yeah, they played on Team Fusion together initially. It's pretty cool. So, lots of old school CLG members lots of old school previous team members coming together on Team CLG. It's kind of cool to hear about that. And hopefully Nintendo finds a good home here at CLG. It looks like they're willing to make some changes to the academy team or something like that and bring in Nintendo X, who is truthfully, he's a jungler. So I think he will be a good addition to CLG in terms of coaching up Omergod, especially in the academy team, or just actually being like a substitute for the main roster or academy roster as well, and giving them a lot of experience. I mean, Nintendo's been around for years and years and years in the League of Legends scene, and he's gone through some ups and downs, and he's just kind of recently done some returning to the NALCS. Since Team Fusion, the Team Fusion days, he kind of disappeared a little bit, played some academy teams, and some amateur teams, and it has had some success. So it's great to see Nintendo X back in the NALCS or NA Challenger Series. We'll see what that ends up being called in the new year. All right, so we're going to move on to some actual content that happened this week. Yes, there was not unlike yet last week where there was 0 games happen. This week we had 3 big events happen, actually. We had in Smash Bros. We had the 2GG Championship, where Void was in attendance. They also had Pat's House 3, which is a Melee tournament, where our boys SFAT and Pew Pew You both went, and yes, they did doubles up. After that, we'll talk about the H1Z1 Elite Series in Sweden, where, yes, our H1Z1 team got to play together as a team as well as solo Kais. Can't wait to talk about that because we don't get enough H1Z1 stuff. There's all kinds of H1Z1 tournaments going on, but it's been since basically TwitchCon that we haven't had an H1Z1 event happen. So it's kind of cool to to see that going on. But first things we're going to do is talk about Smash Bros. So we'll talk about the 2GG Championship. So this is kind of like the big final event of the year for the 2GG saga. This is the big end of year event for these guys, where all the top players come in and compete. And yes, our boy Void was invited to this event. And he started off strong. Holy crap. In WiiU singles in his group stages, Void beat Ally 3-0, which is pretty big. But not to be outdone then, he comes up against Tweak. Now, Tweak, in the last few events, has been extremely strong against Void. And I think Void struggles against those Cloud and Bayonetta players in general. Tweak is usually a Cloud player. And in the first match or two, he actually played Cloud. And Void crushed him 3-0, actually. Tweak did pull out the Bayonetta for a round or two here. And Void was like, nah, not having any of that crap. Moving on to the final round of the group stages, Void came up against Waddy, who's playing Mewtwo. Unfortunately, Void does fall here 1-3 against Waddy. And that puts him still into the winners quarterfinals because he went 2-1 in the round robin stages. In the winners quarters, he faced off against Salem. I mean, it's hard to come up against Salem. Salem's pretty hot right now. Playing Bayonetta, he is definitely showing the world how strong Bayonetta is on Smash 4. And he actually 3-0s our boy Void, sending Void into the losers bracket, where he faced off against Ken, the Sonic player. Now, Void has never had the best of time against Ken. Ken is a really good player. And it's almost as though Ken just knows everything about Void's playstyle or something like that. But Void did end up managing to take one set off of Ken. Unfortunately, Void did fall 3-1, meaning he finished in 7th place at the 2GG Championship. An overall really good showing by Void, finishing top 8 in such a big event where it's only the best players showing up. I mean, shout out to Void, man. You're doing good work, man. You're doing good work. All right. So we'll move on to Pat's House 3, where our boys SFAT and Pew Pew U showed up in force. We'll start off with Melee doubles, where PewFat did end up playing. Now, in the pools, they beat Eustace and Stockbroker 2-0. They then beat Mini Joel, Mini Joel, and Kriski 2-0. They then came up against Azusa and K-Pan, who they crushed 2-0. Yeah, that's right. In the winners quarterfinals, they came up against Darkatma and Bladewise, who they beat 2-1. They then placed against Westballs and Cyrox, who they beat 3-1. SFAT and Pew Pew U then came up against Arishi and LLOD, or LLOD, I'm pretty sure, who they crushed 3-0. Then, into the grand finals. They came up against KJH and Crush. The first two matches of this, I mean, even just the first one. The first one was really close. And KJH and Crush playing the Fox Mirrors put up a really valiant effort, not gonna lie. They showed some real promise. As far as I knew or know, they have never played together before. But these guys, they played their hearts out in game one and really put up a good fight. However, game 2 came up, and oh boy, did SFAT Pew Pew U crush them. They crushed them so hard. Yes, they crushed KGH and Crush so hard that in game 3, they swapped to Falco and Peach. KJH and Crush did. The announcers were a little miffed, actually, over the switch. They felt as though KJH and Crush had just given up. Now, at the end of game 3, Crush was left alive and had one stock. It was 2v1. And instead of even trying to fight, Crush just suicided. And I could see that was basically the turning point there where they just had given up. And for a few moments of match 3 or game 3, Crush and KGH looked promising on Falco Peach. However, SFAT, WiiU, man, they were like, nah. We are taking this. We are taking first place. Get out of my zone. This is my place. I play on this playground. Doubles is ours. And yes, PewFat comes out in first place. These guys played amazingly in the doubles. Congratulations to PewFat for taking first place in Pat's House 3 Melee doubles. We'll move on now to Melee singles, where we're going to come up and do PewU first. Now, in his pools, PewU crushed it. He beat Crazy Dude 2-0, Mind Assassin 2-0, and Devastation 2-0. Moving into his winners round 1, top 48, PewU fought against K-Pan, who he beat 3-0. He then fought against KJH, who he would have saw in the doubles, and beat him 3-1. He then came up against Crush, who was definitely, I don't remember if finals finished before singles got to quarterfinals, but Crush beat PewU 3-1, sending him into the losers bracket, where PewU in the top 12 faced off against Prince Abu and beat him 3-1. Then the worst case scenario happened. PewU top 8 meets SFAT. I'm going to go over SFAT first, and then we're going to get, when we get to this point, and I'll kind of, talk about it. So SFAT in his pools beat City Escape 2-0. He then beat Liang 2-1, and Krizki 2-1 as well. Into his winners round 1, top 48, he faced off against Zach, who he beat 3-0. He then beat Prince Abu 3-0. And then in the winners quarterfinals, top 12, he came up against Duck, the Samus main, that dirty Samus main, who beat him 3-0 actually. So SFAT got knocked into losers, where he faced off against Rishi, the Marth player, and he beat him 3-2. This is the point in which SFAT and PewU faced off against one another. Now, it was a Fox on Fox. PewU did switch to Fox, do the mirror match. I mean, it was a good round. It was a good round, but I mean, SFAT is the Fox main. SFAT does take it over PewU 3-0, being forced to team kill. It kind of feels bad, man, when SFAT and PewU are forced to play one another in singles. It hurts. You're like, no, I want to see them play in finals. I don't want to see them play in like losers round 7. Either way, PewU does finish in top 8 at 7th place, which is a pretty damn good finish for anyone. Congratulations, PewU, on the 7th place finish. Next up was SFAT versus Zane, who unfortunately ended SFAT's losers run 3-2, meaning SFAT finishes in 5th place. So really good showing by both players. 5th place for SFAT, 7th place for PewU at Pat's House 3. Congratulations, boys. You guys did a really good job. So we'll move on to the H1Z1 event, the Elite Series in Sweden. And this is the second stop of the Elite Series. It takes place at DreamHack Winter 2017 in Sweden. And it had both solo as well as teams tournaments. Now, Flamehopper and FPS got a bye into the solo finals. However, Grimmy Bear, Calzy, and Nightwalker both had to qualify in their own respective groups to get into the finals. Now, Grimmy Bear in Game 1 of Solo Qualifiers Group A had 2 kills, 82,820 points at 11th place. Calzy unfortunately had 0 kills, 32,370 points in 59th place. Grimmy Bear and Calzy both got to move on to Game 2, where Grimmy Bear had 2 kills, 61,540 points for 23rd place, and Calzy had 0 kills, 45,060 points in 38th place. Calzy did get eliminated in this match, and therefore only Grimmy Bear moved on to the finals from Group A. In 14th place, 4 kills, 144,360 total points. Now, solo qualifiers Group B is where Nightwalker 1H was. In Game 1, he got 16th place, 1 kill, 71,010 points. In Game 2, he had 0 kills, 38,320 points, and took 48th. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for Nightwalker to get into the solo finals, and he was eliminated. So the solo finals included Flamehopper, FPS, and Grimmy Bear, where in Game 1, Flamehopper had 0 kills, 45,060 points for 38th place. FPS had 3 kills, 69,620 points for 18th. And Grimmy Bear had 0 kills, 68,270 points for 17th. Game 2, Flamehopper had 55th place with 0 kills, 34,390 points. FPS had 1 kill, 59,320 points with 24th. And right after him was Grimmy Bear, who had 1 kill, 60,540 points with 23rd. Flamehopper in Game 3 had 2 kills, 62,830 points for 22nd. The FPS had the best showing of all the CLG boys in the solo finals, with 3 kills, 93,010 points for an 8th place finish. And Grimmy Bear had a an average game, I guess, of 0 kills, 33,870 points for 56th place. Unfortunately, none of our boys finished in the top 10, so they didn't take any cash home for the solo finals. However, there were the team finals, my good people. And in Game 1, CLG as a team. Yes, that is correct. We had Grimmy Bear, Culzy, Nightwalker, Flamehopper, and FPS all playing as a team. In Game 1, they got 2 kills, 77,410 points for 6th place. In Game 2, they had 2 kills, 55,500 points, and 10th place. And then, in Game 3, holy sheesh. 16 kills, 194,000 points for first place in Game 3. Feels good. For a total of 20 kills, 326,910 points, and drumroll, second place. Yes, CLG finished in second place and wins 35,000 smackaroos, and they also won a bonus $5,000 for the most kills in Game 3. Yeah, they had 16 kills in Game 3. What a fantastic showing by the CLG boys in the team finals. Only being beat out by Impact Gaming, who took first place in the event. Again, that is it is great to see the CLG boys playing in H1Z1. It is not something we've gotten to see a lot of. They seem to not attend a lot of events. But you know what? Second place at this event is pretty big, especially at a DreamHack event happening in Sweden, which is a pretty big event. You know, awesome event for them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is basically your rundown of CLG news. There's been some rumors and stuff like that kind of happened as well. There was a free agent where CLG apparently approached ManCloud about joining their academy team. You know, who knows? That could be true. So it's great to see, you know, everyone CLG kind of like coming together and consolidating and becoming a stronger team in general across the board. So here's to CLG and hoping everything in the future goes well for us. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Artrin. You can follow me on Twitter at ArtrinTV, or you can check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Artrin. Yes, just Artrin now. Yeah. Thank you guys very much for listening if you made it all the way here. We are the CLG Faithful Podcast. We are an unofficial podcast, but we go through all news CLG. If you like what we are doing, please give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, whatever you are doing across YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. However you've found us, we appreciate it if you click those support buttons. We do enjoy getting some feedback, so you can leave a comment somewhere or you can give us an email, clgfaithful@gmail.com. And we will get back to you. Hopefully you have some constructive criticism for us. We do enjoy that. It helps us develop as a podcast. Thank you very much for listening, guys. And remember, keep it awesome. Peace.